Hello, everybody, and welcome to T&D&D, the D&D podcast where we talk about D&D. And I don't drink tea during the podcast.
But I do.
Yeah, Laura's more on it than me. We're joined back again with Laura, who left us last time.
Yes, I'm back again. No more James this week. Apologies.
Yeah,
folks.
fuck James. All my homies hate James. Why did he have to come on and do a 35-minute podcast episode?
Poor James.
Dude, we talked for too long. I'm kind of upset about that one because I don't really think we actually talked too much about what we were supposed to. We just rambled. Mm-hmm. But I kind of expected
Well, I mean,
that.
if people want to see a ramble between you and James, leave a comment suggestion in the bottom and I can get James and Jake on to just ramble about whatever you like. And we can shove that up as a podcast episode. If that's what people want, then we can definitely do that. That's not hard. You and James can talk about whatever for ages, so...
Yeah, but that video will be 8 hours, so...
I mean, I can make it into multiple episodes, it's fine.
we make an entire podcast series about me and James just spouting random bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Today we're here to talk about Homebrew, which was a lovely suggestion by one of our lovely commenters, because we actually have those now.
Yeah, we do. Thank you, Audrey, for the suggestion.
Yeah, and you'd also mentioned like funny or like specific awesome campaign moments. They're going to come up in every single podcast episode that we do, and they have been. So look forward to us just constantly, mainly just me deviating and talking about, hey, there was this funny moment once where...
and I just pretty much sit here just going, all the time. But, you know.
This is an episode where you'll have a lot more input this time, despite your your lack of expertise on the subject of Homebrew.
Yes. Well, I have one incident in which... that just put me off DMing for the whole of life. Basically, I'd created this like homebrew world thing, and I was like, so excited about it. And it comes to the first session, and I killed you off. And then after that, I was like, right, that's just a one shot. Not doing that ever again.
Is that the only reason that you cancelled that?
No, I figured out that DMing's just not my thing. It's a case of balancing things, and like when players don't do things that you don't like get straight away and you have to make stuff up, I'm not good with that. Like, I can do it with Patch because Patch is my character. Like, I know Patch pretty much inside out. You ask me any question about Patch and I'll be able to answer it. But with a whole world that I've not fully got figured out in my head, because I've got a lack of experience, I'm not able to answer like things just off the top of my head because I'm winging it pretty much. I think if I tried like a pre-written campaign, it would be slightly better and easier for me because there'd actually be things that I have to look at and stuff like that. But yeah, Homebrew for me, the first time I did it, and probably will ever do it, was an absolute shambles.
Yeah. Listen, man, I was helping you balance stuff, and I'm like, right, you've only got like 2 1/2 CR enemies. Bump that up to 4. I didn't realize they were fucking shadows.
Yeah.
Okay, they are CR2. They should be, like. So that's why I was a little skeptical after that. But you did a decent job. It's okay for a DM to just stop and go, I don't know. That's something I've done before. Like how Ryan just asked, hey, what's your character's name? This random NPC. I just went, I don't know, I have it somewhere, but not right now. He was like, it's okay, I just wanted to see you struggle. So don't worry about that. But Homebrew covers a lot of different things. It is making your entire own campaign and world to a fun little monster or magic item for the party to interact with. Sometimes it's a gift, sometimes it's a curse, depending on what sort of DM you have, because Oh my god, one of my players in a Curse of Strahd game that I ran, he has a lot of horror stories about DMs and players that he's had experiences with, and one had this final boss. Like, he was being DM'd by this guy who had a final boss who had a sword that could hold concentration for him permanently.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Like, that's stupid.
Yeah, that really is. Oh, Lord.
So, don't do that when you're doing homebrew. That's my first recommendation. Homebrew is not meant for you as a DM to cheese your way through an encounter and show how awesome your cool thing that you made is. It's a thing, whenever you make homebrew, it is a thing for players to experience. Whether it's an item or a full-on adventure. Don't make that like a blockade in their way just because you decided to spout some random bullshit about, I negate all of this because of this cool homebrew feature that I have. I feel like I've definitely pulled that on you guys before in my early days as well. Something I feel guilty for. But we are going to today not necessarily just discuss how to homebrew, but we're also going to go through a little process of just brainstorming. It's fun to just sit down and think of ideas. So we're going to be thinking of a bunch. And who knows? Matt Colville has a perfect quote, which is like, I'm making these videos, please steal all of the stuff in these videos and use them. So
Yeah.
use all of this shit. Do whatever. DMing is all about plagiarism. That's it. Everything that I ever DM when it's homebrew is whatever cool piece of media I am currently digesting, just put into there because I think it's cool. Like, I was watching like Critical Role, and we were at a bit where there was like a bunch of evil wizards and shit, and I'm like, right, that's my big bad evil guy. So take inspiration. So we are going to be making a few just random off the top of our head magic items for our group that we play with on Sundays, which is today actually.
Yeah.
So I gave you a little bit of a preface about this because you
Yes,
don't really
yes,
like
you
being
did.
put on the spot. So
Yeah, not my kind of thing, as you can tell by the whole DM fiasco that happened.
that was, you did okay. You did okay.
Well, not really, but it's fine.
I guess I'm just a bit biased. But yeah, what if you wanted anything in the universe to give to Patch, like a cool thing? What do you think?
Well, for Patch, here's a few background things about him. He is a blind monk child, and he sort of listens to things with his ears, because he's a tabaxi. So I think for Patch, it would probably be something that like enhances his hearing, so that he can hear even more, like further around, because his hearing's already what's his hearing at the minute? 30 feet, or is it more than that? I don't know.
I think it's what your movement speed is, so 50.
Yeah, so like something that could make that even better. I mean, it would be a bit OP, but I think that's pretty cool. So that would be what I'd choose for Patch. I mean, it might not be something that someone else would choose for their character, but I feel like for Patch, he generally likes to sort of like listen to shit and be like, oh, what the fuck is going on here? And then go with that. So I think that's what I'd choose for Patch.
Yeah, a decent example about how cool the feature is of having the best hearing in the world is last session you managed to identify what was on the other side of a door without even seeing it, without even anyone else seeing it. You just felt the footsteps. That thing has armor on. It's a humanoid thing, but it's a bit light. Yada, 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 yada. Oh, there's more. They're invisible. Ah!
Yeah.
So
That's just something that's really cool. Because, like, if I can hear anything, it doesn't matter if they're visible or not visible. So, yeah, anything that would just enhance Patch's hearing, I would definitely go for that.
Oh, shit, that's not even a thing I've thought about. Invisible creatures you can just wallop anyway.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I like that. So there's a few ways to go about that if you were to. One is to make it easy for dynamic lighting and Roll20 stuff. Your vision around is your movement speed, so that if you wanted to move your full movement speed up to somewhere, you could see where that is. And something that could make you go faster. There's quite a lot of things. Haste in general, the haste thing, spell, it's amazing on a monk because it doubles their freaking movement speed, gives them extra AC, extra attacks. You can wallop something 5 times around with that spell on.
Plus, with me being a tabaxi and having the flipping double the movement speed even more, means I can just be zooming around the flipping place like, woo!
Yeah. I like that. But there's also, and that wasn't just I can be the most OP piece of shit ever. It's also in line with the character, which is nice. When you're a DM, generally coming up with something, if you want to give your player something cool like a magic item, think about what they would use, not just for, I'm going to use this in combat and be the best in the world, but it makes sense for them to have. There's a good example is Critical Role, because Matt Mercer is insane. There is Grog Strongjaw, and he has a set of Titan Stone Knuckles, which were basically made for him. They make him insanely strong, and they can double his size and stuff. And it also is something that I believe he got from defeating his tyrannical uncle. So that's kind of how it ties into the backstory a little bit. So consider that as well when you're making one. I would personally love to just see Patch zoom around at like 100 feet a turn.
Yeah, that'd
and
be insane.
Be able to, like, on average get to 200 feet if you use either a key point or, like, oh my god. You're going to really need to keep track of movement, though. Like,
yeah.
Not being a spellcaster anymore has its benefits, but the downside is that now you have 8 billion movement speed and need to measure where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to our next lovely player. Let's talk about who do you want to talk about next? Did you have any ideas?
Let's talk about Benmus, because Benmus is directly attached to Patch. I'm
Benmus
going
is
to actually ask you this question this time. What would you think that Benmus would be the best for Benmus to have? Like, what item?
So Benmus is generally So with Benmus, I wouldn't need to make a magic item for him because half of his backstory is based around getting one that exists in the book already. But there's certainly some that I could think of. He is a bard who is also a dwarf, and he is less of an instrument playing, lyricist bard. He's more of a storyteller. He's currently in the process of writing a comic book series about the party, and he's only really ever played an instrument in the game once, and it was a lute to try and get people into the tavern, and that was about it. So I would probably say something that basically makes him the goddamn best orator in the universe, the best speaker, the best motivational person. It could be something that commands like power over others, but not in like an overbearing way. It's like it's a free I will get people to believe me card. And that could apply in combat too, with like charms to throw around and stuff, and just something that really makes him. Benmus has become the face and a bit of a leader already. We've noticed.
Yeah.
But that's just kind
really
of the
has.
nature. That's just the nature of Ryan more than anything, because he's the responsible one.
I mean, Ryan tends to be the leader in the game, so I'm going off of his character from the last campaign as well. Was sort of a leader alongside James. They were both like the leader people in the party.
Yeah, definitely. James's new character is a bit less of a leader. He talks a lot still, but isn't really
Yeah.
a head decision maker anymore in comparison. It's basically Benmus's input is the input in the party at this point. Plus, with Patch automatically agreeing with everything that Benmus says. You know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, some kind of interesting tool that could help him, you know, convey his message better, speak better. I have a few homebrew magic items actually in storage for that sort of thing, so I might be able to pull that on him at some point. But yeah, that's what I think for him.
Hmm.
We have 6 people in that party. 6 is
Yeah, we have quite a few.
6 is a lot. Weirdly, people look at stuff like Critical Role and they see 7 players and they think that's the standard. 4 is good. 4 is safe. 4 is the best one in my opinion. 6 is still good, but when you have that many players, it can sometimes be hard to manage everything at once. But you
But
know,
I feel like our group works quite well together. Obviously, we all sort of get along and stuff, and we let each other have their own turn. We don't really tend to talk over each other very much either. So it works in its own sort of way.
yeah. Plus, there's the quieter and the louder folk, so it kind of balances out, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you think we're going to touch on next?
Let's go for the big old Valdor.
Oh yeah, the 9-foot Goliath. How dare he? That's rude. It's 1 foot over the height limit, bro. Rob, how dare you? Valdor is a 9-foot Goliath, vengeance paladin. Bit of a theme there in the backstory that we'll probably come to. There is paladins and clerics and dwarves get the best treatment for magic items in D&D. Like, it's insane. There are so many interesting things that a paladin or a cleric can pick up. And to make it a bit unique, there isn't really any... Because D&D is still a bit old in some of its ways. Like, the alignment system is still there and it's still prevalent and, like, alters game mechanics and stuff. And it kind of still sort of assumes that you're going to be a lawful good, lovely, friendly paladin, which Valdor is not.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely thinking, because of his general playstyle, which is I am focusing on you and I am going to run towards you and hit you until you die, no matter what. That's just generally what he's been doing. Even if there's other things going on around him, he's just, I'm going to hit you instead. Definitely something that could perhaps... I'm thinking almost like trap an enemy into one-on-one combat with him, because that's where he strives.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Like, this is stealing a bit from a League of Legends mechanic that 1 or 2 characters can do, but where you basically choose one person and you go into another fucking dimension for 10 seconds and just fight there, one-on-one, mono-y-mono.
Cool.
So...
Yeah, that would definitely suit Valdor.
Oh yeah, there are some spells that can do that, like there's Compelled Duel, which if the enemy fails a wisdom save, they have disadvantage on attack rolls against anyone but you. So basically they kind of have to fight you. But they can choose to fight other people, it's just going to be that they're a little less good at it. But properly binding them into combat with you is just great. And it can also be a good plot device. It's like, you know what? That guy is my backstory villain. I'm going to 1v1 them. And they can't say no.
I suppose that would work quite well for Valdor as well because of his sort of backstory as well.
Yeah, definitely. Think he'd enjoy that, Rob.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, definitely think he would.
To the players that are listening to the podcast, because I think most of the players in our game like listen to this. I might not give you these. So don't get your hopes too high up, but who knows, I might. We'll find out. Do you have any cool ideas about anyone else?
Well, with my limited knowledge of like D&D and me literally not playing very many classes, not really. But I feel like something cool for like Erelith and Rem both being wizards would be something that sort of just lets them not have to write down everything in the books. Maybe like for a couple spells or something. But again, that's from me being lack of knowledge. Maybe there's something like that already. I don't know. But I think that
There
would be
is
cool.
a, I believe, 18th level wizard class feature that lets you permanently memorize like first, second, and third level spells. That's about it.
Ah,
And it's very hard to get to that level. But
mm-hmm.
I think that's an interesting concept. Being able to, not really have to use your spell book to cast spells. There's a few like magic items out there that are basically spell books in and of themselves, which is interesting. Like, what's a good example that you'd know? So you had a Staff of Healing for a bit.
Yeah.
And that had charges that you would spend to cast spells. There's a lot of items like that kind of function in a similar way. And I think wizards are great, but the one thing about them that I'm not a humongous fan of is that they can pretty much, unless you do a very specific build, only really cast spells and that's it. Classes can do many different things. Druids are still primary spellcasters. They also have the ability to wild shape, and they can gain other features as well that allow them to do it more efficiently. There's bards who are, yes, primary spellcasters, but they can also inspire others to do better and disable enemies as well and stuff like that. Wizards pretty much are restricted to their spellcasting, which... It's fine because they're the best at it, but can be restricting sometimes. So I think that's why James kind of made Erelith, because Erelith is a 23 strength wizard walking around with a greatsword. So
Yeah. I mean, that got shown last session when Erelith just whacked out the sword and just started beating the shit out of people.
yeah, he doesn't have to rely on all of the magic anymore, even though he still does from time to time. It's quite satisfying to be able to swing a great sword very well as a wizard, I imagine. So perhaps something akin to that, something that gives them an extra little bit of oomph. There are a few spells that can definitely give a wizard more than just being a spellcaster. There's a great spell out there called Tensor's Transformation that basically makes you a swole-ass wizard and gives you every single weapon and armor proficiency for like 10 minutes, and you deal extra damage and you have advantage on attack rolls and gain a buttload of temporary hit points, and you basically become a fighter for a while. It's great.
Damn.
Yeah, it sounds like we're deviating off your original idea because but still giving a wizard more than just spellcasting, like maybe some kind of item that gives them maybe like a longsword that when you're attuned to it, you're automatically already proficient with it, and it bumps your strength up so that you can use it, and it gives you multi-attack with it. Just stuff like that, making you more efficient. James's first wizard that he made, we talked about this in the last episode, he wasn't very happy with because he didn't really get them yet. And part of that was probably attributed to the fact that, they could really only cast spells and mainly summon demons. But yeah, something like that, something that gives them a little bit more than just magic, or enhances their magic enough where they can solely rely on it and feel like they're more useful in every situation. Because, yeah, I rambled a bit there, but you guys get my point, right?
Yeah,
Hopefully.
I think like the people will understand where you're coming from there.
Hopefully. I do manage to ramble a lot about nothing and deviate off a track a lot, so apologies. Who haven't we talked about?
We've not talked about Gaius, and actually when you mentioned the druid, it gave me an idea. So you know how druids can't cast when they're in the wild shape. I feel like for Gaius, when he's in like a big like bear, because that's what he tends to wild shape into. I feel like if he had like some sort of like, I don't know, amulet or something that could let him cast like one spell while he was in this form, and it'd have to like recharge or something. I feel like that would be pretty freaking badass, because he could do like I don't know, like whatever, and he'd pick like probably a low level spell, let's be honest, so that he's not OP. But I feel like that'd be pretty cool, just to see Gaius as this big ass freaking bear, and then casting like a spell. That'd be pretty cool. Like to if I was actually Patch, I would be. Well, I mean, I wouldn't see it, but it would be pretty cool to hear. Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
There's a lot of interesting stuff about the wild shape mechanic, because you can actually concentrate on spells after wild shaping. So me playing a, Circle of the Moon druid who turned into a brown bear, I had casted Flame Sword. So I was a brown bear running around with a sword of fire. And
oh Jesus,
just that concept is amazing to me. There's so many fun things that you can pull as a druid when you wild shape, especially as a moon druid, because of their less restrictive nature in wild shape form. But yeah, I think that would be pretty interesting. What due to your experience, your somewhat experience with Edwin as a druid, what spell do you think would be neat to put in there?
Well, with my somewhat experience of Edwin, I mean, the only spell I ever flipping used was Thorn Whip. So that would be my obvious choice, because me being a spell caster didn't really work out because I didn't understand spells very well. So I feel like, yeah, if that was Edwin that had got that ability, I would pick Thorn Whip. If we were to talk about Gaius, on the other hand, I really don't know what Gaius would pick, because I mean, he's used Thorn Whip a couple of times, but like, I don't know whether Gaius would be like, yeah, I want to use Thorn Whip while I'm a brown bear. But I don't know, something like that I feel would be pretty fucking cool. Yeah.
Gaius can be a little chaotic sometimes, so maybe like Thunderwave or some shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's bad
mean,
choices by Rich recently with that those thunder waves.
Yeah, some really bad choices there from Rich. Not like we're pinning the blame on him or anything, but
Not at all. It's just it's not like you guys were in a city that was a bit post-apocalyptic and had a bunch of guards running around in it, and you were in a safe house that just got attacked, and Gaius was just like boom, and then made a 300-foot boom, and then you had to leave. Oh boy, no, that's just a fun thing. That encounter could have gone many ways, but maybe something like that. Gaius is a bit less of like a. In the general nature of druids, they are kind of like, I'm going to hover around the middle of the combat and I'm going to blast the enemies and heal the allies. He pretty much just blasts the enemies. He's a full-on chaotic mess of a die. And now I think he has Fireball. So, he might, I don't know. I think so. I think druids can take Fireball. I hope they can. That would be fun.
Imagine him casting Fireball as a brown bear. That'd be pretty fucking badass.
Put Fireball in that amulet you mentioned. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The bear like suddenly stands up on its hind legs and goes and like a fireball comes out of the hands. That would be pretty badass.
I mean, if I was a character then, like an enemy or something, and I saw that, I'd shit myself. A fucking brown bear comes up to you and starts like having a fireball come out of its freaking paw. What the hell? Like, I'd start running. I'd be like, nah, I'm done. This is above my pay grade. I'm leaving. Bye. And then I'd just straight up quit my job and stop being evil.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm done with this. Ain't no brown bear coming and freaking fireballing me, man.
Wait until Gaius is next level when he can become a polar bear.
Oh, Jesus.
There's amazing stuff that can come out of that, though. I, as that druid, that moon druid, I had a potion of fire breathing, and I chugged that down and also wild shaped into a brown bear, and I was breathing fire with a flame sword as a bear.
Oh my
Like,
god.
the things druids can do is fucking crazy. They are one of the most powerful classes if you play them right. Or if you just pick Moon Druid, you win, basically.
Yeah, don't play a druid like I did. Actually look at spells and don't just use Thorn Whip and Fairy Fire all the time. I mean, Fairy Fire is bloody great, but just don't spam Thorn Whip 24/7 because you don't know what the rest of the spells are or do. Like, actually spend some time looking at spells that druids have, because just don't be like me. Don't because I mean, Edwin was great, but it was either Thorn Whip or healing, and I mean, I was the primary healer for like most of the time, but that doesn't bother me. Just don't use Thorn Whip because you don't know what the rest of the spells do. Like, actually go out and look at spells.
Yeah.
That's a PSA for me in the past. Just yeah.
You pretty much knew one or two of the normal spells, and then you knew what all of the healing ones did, and Thorn Whip and Resistance. That's about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, healing was reliable for you because you kind of knew what it did. And
Yes.
the occasional Call Lightning was fucking badass, let's be real, but didn't do
I think
that
I
too
used
much.
Moonbeam like once.
Yeah, and it worked pretty well. But, yeah, you were kind of stuck in the role of healer because that's really the only spells that you properly knew how they worked.
Yeah.
And then when your character died and you came in with a barbarian, and then James's character died in the exact same session, came back with a shaman, because James always has to have special things.
Yeah.
So, but shamans are basically like weird spiritual warlock cleric hybrids. So he was running around doing all the healing jazz, and also had a
Yes.
bird, which was great. Nani had Eclise, which is the coolest name. I don't know how he got that. Please say he randomly generated it so that I can make fun of him later. But yeah. Have we gone through everyone?
Yes, I think we have.
We haven't gone through my character though. Oh wait.
You don't have one.
Laura, you've only played
Sometimes
like one session of D&D with me.
Yeah, that is true.
That's sad. That's real sad. And then you didn't
Yeah.
even get to see the character die.
No.
More about that in the
That's some
previous
internet
episode
issues.
of T and D&D.
Yes.
Me and James got right down to brass tacks, and immediately after the intro, he's like, "Right, let's talk about Xander." And I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah. I mean, we've sort of deviated off of Homebrew, but
Who cares?
I mean, we've talked quite a bit about Homebrew, you know, for all of our characters.
Yeah. There's
But yeah, it's just coming up with fun things, really, isn't it?
pretty much, and from those, I could definitely right now go on D&D Beyond and make a bunch of cool items that I think that I'd want to do. I'm currently working on, for perhaps a new series that we might be doing, a homebrew adventure for.
Yes.
I think it's for 10th level characters, so we ain't messing around.
Nah.
And I made a homebrew magic item that it's kind of based off, that I might link in the description. Shall we do that? I think we should.
I mean,
on the
you
YouTube
mean
video.
me. I
Yes.
will link it in the description.
You will. I apologize. I'm just using the
If you're
YouTube
coming
link
from, yeah, if you're coming from Spotify, iTunes, or Google Podcasts, the link will be in the YouTube channel description, which is Magical Tea Party. So yeah, if you want the link for this homebrew item that Jake's based this whole like campaign thing he's making off of, go ahead over to the YouTube channel and it'll be in the description of the video, titled with the same episode name as this podcast, on Spotify and iTunes and Google Podcasts.
Nice. Now that you've stuck around so long, we have an announcement or two, I suppose. We have announcements now.
Yes. Whoa.
So, first one is the first big achievement, I think, for us is our first
Definitely, yeah,
milestone, I think. Yeah. At the time of
Yeah.
recording this, 1 week ago for you guys, we hit 100 subscribers.
Yes. That's just amazing, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't think we'd get to 100 so quickly either.
How long was it? Like 4 months, if that? Like,
Yeah,
people take years to grow to that amount sometimes, and
yeah.
we got there pretty quick.
It's honestly amazing.
Yeah. And it's also really, really nice to look at some of the videos we've done and see how many people have actually watched it.
Yeah, the view count on Hexblade and the town of Valaki is just insane. Honestly, it's really just amazing to see that, because obviously we both put in a lot of effort with these videos, and we're both studying full time, so doing these videos is it's not like the easiest thing we've ever done, but it's we put a lot of effort into this, and seeing that people are like enjoying that, it's so rewarding just to see, even just people commenting and stuff, being like, oh, thanks for this video, it really helped. Honestly, I was on call with my parents the other day, and someone commented that, like, I think it was the first time that someone commented it, and I think I just like did a happy squeal or whatever, because I was like, wow, we're actually reaching people and helping people that want to do these campaign guides or learn the spells or class features, etc., etc. And it's just amazing, honestly. So I can't thank everyone that's here enough for all of your continued support, and just viewing the channel. It's honestly amazing.
Yeah, we've this has been a passion project, I think, mainly for you. You just kind of brought me along. You didn't know what you wanted to do for it, but we both had a common interest and decided to put that out, and it worked. And it's hopefully going to keep working. So, another announcement. I did a... Oh my god, it was so amazing recording that clickbaity-ass video yesterday.
Yeah.
I just felt the evil grin in my head just constantly, and I wanted to do it so bad. But we did another announcement a week and a day ago, 8 days ago, because of... I'm remembering when this video will go up, and then when we did the last one, where we announced that we have a Discord server now. We've already got a few people in, and there's a lot you can do there. We have admittedly been mucking around a lot with one of the bots.
Yeah, I mean, we have Epic RPG, so we've definitely been having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I would recommend maybe muting the channels if you're not going to be doing that, because me, Laura, Rob, and Chris kind of spam them a lot.
Yeah, we all enjoy those channels. We also have other features on there as well. We have game rooms, so if you want to join the server and play with your friends or whatever, we've got plenty of rooms for that. We've got just general like chat rooms. We've got bits where you can ask questions to me and Jake. There's bits where you can ask what sort of video ideas that you want to see from the channel, either any video, whether it's podcast, whether it's just a regular video that you want to see. Say, for example, if like there's something particular in like Waterdeep in the campaign that you're like, oh, I don't really understand that, then you can just pop that in there, and we'll do a video of Jake explaining said thing, or just anything like that you can add. What else have we got, Jake?
There is... You said that you could talk to us, but like in more specific terms, when we have a decent amount of people in there, we might have like set times and days where one or two of us might jump into a designated voice chat where people can join as well, and we can hang out and stuff.
So I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, and there's what else? There's a lot. We have a rule verification system that's a cool bot thing, and I'm like,
yes.
There's Q&A as well, which... What's that going to be used for? You made it, I don't know.
Basically, my idea for the Q&A was going to be they'd ask questions about certain things, sort of like what people do in the comments, where they ask a question about something that they don't quite understand, and you can answer it, or someone who's more knowledgeable than me in our D&D group can answer the question, and you can... get an answer to your questions like pretty pronto, because we've got people on there, we've got the whole gang on there, all of our players are on there, and yeah, basically, we're all indicated by roles as well, so you'll be able to tell who's who. So you'll be able to tell who actually plays in like the games, because everyone's on the Discord server. Obviously, we've got me and Jake on there, and we're highlighted in a different colour. Everyone becomes members, so make sure if you are going to join that you definitely thumbs up the rules bot, because then you get member access and you can see the rest of the server. Because if you just join, then there's like you can't see everything, because obviously we want to make sure people have read the rules so that nothing bad really happens on the server. We just want to make it like a nice little community space where you guys can talk to each other, you can ask questions, and you can play games. And yeah, we just want it to be a nice place for everyone to chat and stuff. We think it would be quite nice.
Yeah, and James has also taken the courtesy to make a few fucking emotes of my face.
Yes, thank you, James, for those beautiful emotes that everyone's now spamming in the general chat.
Boy, that's gonna get old for me, but for no one else.
Yep.
But yeah, hopefully you guys will join. We'll try and be as active on there as possible. Me and Laura are both almost exclusively working from home, so we'll be on more than we're away, and as well as some of our players as well. Rob doesn't have a life.
Poor Rob. Oh, he just got called out. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, Rob.
No, I don't mean it like that. I just mean that you're... Do you like the bot, man? He does
spam the RPG bot, though.
A lot. And we were like, how are you even doing that? And he's just like, I've got a lot of free time.
Yeah.
We're actually recording this video in a chat in the server that only we have access to. So, and we might, I don't know if this might be a thing, but we might even get a few of our community members in to that talk to us group call and have you in on a video. I don't know, there's a lot of cool things we can do now that we have a Discord server. Organize events and shit as well. There's so much cool stuff. I'm so excited for the future.
Yeah, me too. We've got some pretty cool plans for this channel, including a certain other popular campaign that perhaps we'll do videos on. Not saying any names. Cough, cough, Icewind Dale. Cough, cough.
Yeah, I've started running that, so I have a little bit more expertise on it, and now I can talk about it. Ta-da!
Yes, so that might be coming in the future. The Google Docs document is ever growing bigger and bigger of ideas of what we can do. Thanks to everyone commenting as well, because those topics help, because we can come up with different ideas for videos on there too, for what you guys want to see. Because, like I said, me and Jake come up with some ideas, but, sometimes there's specific things that you guys want to see that me and Jake won't have thought of. So if you've got, like, something specific, whether it be, I don't know, anything small or big, whatever you deem that you want to see, just pop a comment, or if you're on the Discord server, just send a message to the Video Ideas channel, and, it'll get put on the Google Docs list, and maybe one day it'll be on the channel, which I think would be really cool.
We've talked for so long.
We really have. We've gone over so far. Oh, Lord.
The more content, the better. YouTube likes that watch time.
It does. But to the viewers?
Dude, if you've stayed this long and you're like... if our Sunday group hasn't stayed this long, then fuck you, I'm kicking you out of my game. But if a random viewer has managed to listen to this all the way through, like, we appreciate you so much. Suppose we can end it here, right?
Yes, I think the people have probably had enough of us by now.
There's only so much of us someone can take.
Yeah. But yes, thank you guys for watching this podcast episode. Like I said, if you're on iTunes, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, go ahead and give us a follow. And if you're on the big old YouTube, go give us a subscribe, turn the post notifications on, and comment and like. Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
I remembered.
Because
I remembered.
you did.
I'm good
Well
at this.
done.
YouTube.
Yes. So thank you guys for listening to T&D&D, hosted by Jake Anslow and me, Laura Gollaglee. We hope you come to the next few, if you would like. That would be nice. I'm not really good at this, but we'll go with it.
Why was my name said like that?
Because why not? We'll go with it. It's fine.
All right. Thank you for listening. See you guys in the next one. Au revoir.
Bye bye.